Okay, this is the third in the series on how we're going to isolate an object and place it on its own layer. And here's a picture of a lock that I took, and it's unadjusted in Photoshop. It came directly out of the camera as a raw file. The only thing I did was resize it down so that it would fit inside this video. And for this selection, we're going to start using the pen tool. And you're going to watch and see how I do this, okay? So the first thing I need to do is select the pen tool. There's the pen tool. And I got a little picture of a pen on here. Now I'm going to start, I always zoom right in to the picture when I'm doing this because I want to be as precise as I can. And the first thing I'm going to start with is right about here. Now I need to tell you right from the start that if you're going to error in the pen tool, error inside the image rather than out. In other words, let's say you were going to make your selections like this. You see, this is outside the lock. What you really would want to do is you'd want to error onto the inside, if anything. Well, so with that in mind, because the reason being is you don't want any jaggy edges at the end of this, and if you follow the contour of the object that you're trying to select, and if you go a little towards the inside, you won't get that fringe that I often encounter and see that you usually get with the Magic Wand. You get usually a white or black fringe when you place it on another background. So let's begin with the pen tool. Okay, I'm going to start right at the bottom here, and we're going to go. It's pretty much this is straight, right from here to there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start up on our curves. Let me zoom out just a little bit, and I'm going to come up right about here. Now I'm going to pull out on the handles here, just so that I can get the selection I want. Now, another thing I need to tell you is that when you're doing your selections, and if you find out that you're not precise, and you're either inside or outside with your selections, wait to the very, very end to correct them. So anyway, here we go. We're going to start again. I'm going to take the handle off of this one. I did that by holding down the Alt key and on that point right there, I just clicked and it took away the handle. And now I'm going to come right down here, and that looks good right about there. Okay, I'm going to take off the handle on this one too. All right, and let's go down right about here and stop right around here. See, I made an error right here. I'll correct that before long. Not right now, though. There's another error right up here, right here in here. I'll come back later and correct that. I'm going to have to come back and correct for this over here. Remember what I said about if you can't stay on the line exactly. See, I'm inside rather than on the outside. I'm inside the lock, and that's a lot better than being outside the lock. And let's just finish this up right here. And we're going to close off the path right like that. Now let's go back and check everything out. Let's see if we have to make any corrections here. I see a correction right here. Okay, I'm going to add another spot, point right there. Whoops. First I got to, there we go. Now I'm going to add a point right here, and I'm just going to bring that, holding down the control key, I can move these points. Okay. And now we need to correct up here just a little bit. So I'll add one more point right there, and holding down the control key, I'll adjust that. That looks good. Here we're on out. Here's a, for instance, where we're on the outside rather than the inside of the lock. What's going to happen if I don't correct this, I'm going to have a gray fringe from the background over here. So I'm going to hold down the control key, and I'm going to move this inside just like that. Now here is another mistake I made, and I need to add another point right here, and that'll work right like that. And let's see, we'll move this right inside. We want to go inside rather than outside. We need to add another point right about here. And this is on the outside slightly, so we want to go towards the inside. Here's another point we need to add. Right like that. And pull that out right here. Now, here you can see the jagged edges of the lock. I rather prefer that we go inside rather than the outside. You won't know it. If we go on the inside, you won't know it. And let's just adjust these curves right here. We want to go rather on the inside rather than we got to adjust this right in here, and that's looking good. We just maybe need to adjust this slightly in here like so. We should get a perfect selection. Okay, so now the next thing I need to do is go inside the lock. And see this gray area right in here? I want to avoid that, so I'm going to go inside the lock. Inside rather than on the outside, because that's too close to the color of the background. And we'll come right down here. Over to here. Get rid of this handle. Go up here. And we should finish it off with this one right like so. Now let me just review what we got here. Okay, I think maybe we could come outside just a little on this one, just a little bit. And that's looking good. Okay, let's zoom out to 100%. Now what I'm going to do is hold down the control key and hit the enter key, and that'll make a selection of our lock. And control J will put it on its own layer. And let's see if I fill the background with this dark color that I have. There's our selection, and there's our lock. You go in there really good. See, you notice that when I said I'd rather error on the side that goes towards inside the lock rather than outside. You see, we have no fringes. You have no fringe at all. No, it did a good job. And so from here, what we could do is we'll just add a slight shadow, drop shadow, and let's see, we add a little bit of a drop shadow right in here, give it a little size. Okay, And there's our selection, and it's on its own layer. I don't like the drop shadow. I'll do another tutorial on drop shadows. I don't use the drop shadows that I create my own. Okay, so that's it. I hope you get a better understanding of the pen tool. If you got any questions, just email me or leave a note on the forum. Thank you.